We're going to get started here, guys, in just a minute. Thanks for logging on. Big day, Jimmy. Big day.
We're excited, man. It's going to be a good day for us. I know we got a ton of people registered for today's unveiling, and, we couldn't be more excited to share with you guys what we've been working on behind the scenes for the last 6 months here, Chris.
Jimmy, we had, I think, 800 people register for a sales pitch. And I think it speaks to the marketing we do. I think it speaks to the brand that we've built. And we're going to get started. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to talk about our latest creation today called Accelerator. And Jimmy started saying something a couple months back that I think is really important for everyone on the call to really embody for their own business. And it's very simple. When you innovate, you grow. And when you don't, you don't. And when you think about COVID and when you think about the market and all the changes, there has never been a more important time to innovate than today. And what we're going to do today is we're going to reveal our latest innovation. It's called Curator Accelerator. You guys are going to love it. We're going to walk you through the whole program. We're going to bring on a client that was our first Accelerator client. We're going to show you the funnels that we build, the ads that we run, the leads that we generate. We're going to go through the whole thing. But what I wanted to start with is just those of you that are not as familiar with Curator, like we have built our brand around innovation. Like when we released Curator, we're 8 years old now. So we're not a startup, but we're innovating like a startup. We're working like a startup. But when we rolled out Curator, we were the first company to focus on seller leads. Like we did seller lead generation, and we still do that to this day. We help listing agents win more listings. And if you look at the landscape of technology in this industry, it's all focused on buyers. Most of the innovation is around buyers. We introduced seller lead generation. We were the first company to pioneer Facebook marketing and Facebook ads for real estate. I mean, Jimmy, half the coaches in the real estate industry, when we started doing Facebook advertising and marketing, they were telling all of their coaching students, don't use Facebook, it's a distraction. We created landing pages. Like, it's funny because now most of the people on the call today, they know what landing pages are.
Yeah.
But when we released our magic landing pages, 5, 6 years ago, most real estate agents didn't even know what a landing page was. And we made it so simple to create beautiful landing pages. And by the way, all of these components are still a part of our platform. We introduced a marketing framework called cabbing so that you could be consistent with your marketing. I know a lot of the people on the call today, they do marketing when they're not busy, and then they get busy, and then they stop doing marketing. CAB, create, advertise, blast, simple framework. We created Curator Brain. Curator Brain is the only thing in the world where you can actually see all of the Facebook ads and all of the email marketing from all of the other top agents and teams around the country. You can actually use their best performing marketing in your marketing. We created Curator Marketer. Curator Marketer, Jimmy, is sold out to this day. And that is a person. A big part of Curator are the people. Software is not enough. Technology is not enough. You need technology, you need strategies, and you need people. You need a platform, you need a plan, and you need a person. Curator Marketer, we do the marketing for our clients every single week. Blogging, email marketing, Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing. We created the first websites where you could actually customize it and make it your own. A lot of the websites in the industry, Jimmy, they're templated. And you might have a template or two to choose from. We created Curator Convert. It's a technology that will go into your CRM and pull out the leads that are engaging with your marketing right now. And then earlier this year, we partnered with a great company called Chime, and we innovated on the IDX side, Redfin, Zillow Quality IDX. So we've built our brand and we've built our business, and not to mention the water cooler, not to mention the conversion code, not to mention our great conference, Curator Excellence. So we are obsessed with finding a better way. And today we're going to introduce the next big thing. It's called Curator Accelerator. But Jimmy, let me take a step back and let's give people a little bit of the state of the union. Give a little bit of the why we did what we did.
I think it's, I think not enough people say this that are in our position, Chris. It is incredibly hard to run a successful real estate team. See, most businesses that we study and that we admire are businesses that have entire teams and departments dedicated to their technology, to their marketing, to their advertising. But as a real estate team, you are responsible for every action and every function of your entire organization. And to make matters even more challenging, many of you on today's call have to be a player coach, Chris. You have to also work directly with the consumer and then work with your team. Mm-hmm. And so when it comes to advertising and when it comes to growing your business, some of the themes that we were hearing from our customers and from the industry as a whole was, first and foremost, converting internet leads is too hard. Most agents who are listening right now want to invest in advertising, but they struggle to get an ROI because conversion is too hard. Mm-hmm. Facebook isn't working for me. We hear this a lot. People who are not sophisticated with Facebook or don't have a lot of experience with Facebook, they tend to get lower quality leads that take more time to nurture. We've generated in the last few years here over 5 million leads through Facebook alone. And what we know is the details really do matter. The third thing that we see a lot of, Chris, and this is what we heard from the feedback, was as a team lead, nothing is more frustrating than investing in technology, investing in marketing and advertising, and then your buyer's agents not following up with those leads and feeling disenfranchised. And then this sort of created this pressure for real estate teams to always come up with new ideas to help grow their business. Mm-hmm. So what we heard a lot of through this process was, converting is too hard. Facebook isn't working. I can't motivate my buyer's agents. I can't stay consistent. I don't have enough time. And then one of the most important things, not the most important thing, but one of the other most important things was people were looking for an alternative for high quality leads beyond Zillow. Zillow and now Realtor have begun to move towards this flex model, Chris, where they're collecting about 35% or 25% of your commission on every deal closed. Yeah. And I was talking with a client recently about this, and her average spend with Zillow was around $250,000 a year. And now she's no longer paying that up front, which is great, but she's sharing about $900,000 in commission with Zillow. Mm-hmm. So when you think about that, they're going to get you one way or the other. And I think a lot of agents right now who maybe get an ROI from Zillow or just don't want to invest in them because they philosophically don't believe investing in your competitors, they're looking for an alternative. Where can I put my ad dollars to work? But the single most important question and the problem that everyone on this call needs to be solving is you need more listings. Mm-hmm. Chris, talk about this for just a moment, because I know in the markets that we work, like the thing that I hear from our customers is like, it's a low inventory market. Yeah. And homes are selling incredibly quickly.
Well, let's be really clear. You should always want more listings. Mm-hmm. Gary Keller says listings equal leverage. The beauty of getting a listing is, and especially when you work with a smart company like Curator, we can help you turn your listings into more listings. Mm-hmm. And you can take a listing and you can generate really qualified buyer leads from your listing. But right now there's low inventory all over the nation. Now it's going to come back, and it's coming back. But I bet if I were to ask the people listening right now, Jimmy, who needs more listings?
Who could use a few additional seller opportunities? Every hand would go up. Mm-hmm. All 700 people that registered, 800 people that registered for today would raise their hand and say, I need more listings.
Yeah.
So it's more competitive than ever. Now, the good news is most of the people on the call and most of the people in the space and in the industry, they have not figured out how to crack that code. Mm-hmm. They actually don't have a way to generate listings beyond past clients, sphere of influence, very traditional methods. So that's a big part of what we're going to talk about today with Accelerator. And what's exciting is, and we've grown up as a company, we've been around 8 years now. And what we've learned is that if you're going to bring a new idea to the market, if you're going to say, hey, we've got the next big thing, you better test it and you better prove it and you better make sure it works. So what we've done is we've spent the last 6 months working with teams from all over the US and Canada. We worked with teams in not every market, every price point.
Yeah.
3 million to 300,000. We worked with people in Michigan. We worked with people in Beverly Hills. We worked with people in San Diego. We worked with people in Florida, in Atlanta, in Boston. Mm-hmm. So every market. And we also worked with all different team sizes, 2 people teams, 20 people teams, 10 people teams. We worked at every price point in every market, because what the clients that we work with have in common is that they all want to grow.
Mm-hmm.
They all want to grow their business. That is the bar for working with Curator. And I talk to people every day, Jimmy, that want to work with us. And I just ask them, what's your motivation to grow? What are your goals? Because if you're kind of set in stone and you're kind of like, yeah, I'm retiring in a couple of years, I just kind of want to coast into the sunset, we're not the right company for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to double your business and triple your business, if you want to increase your business exponentially, that's what we specialize in at Curator. So Jimmy, I want you to talk people through, because it sounds good. I want more listings. I want better leads. I want to grow. But what does it really take? Because this is where I feel like the industry sometimes falls short. They get all fired up with nowhere to go. They think that they need to go buy a bunch of tools and that that's the answer. What does it take to execute what we're going to show today? Because it's a lot.
Yeah, it is. And let me just add one word there that I think is very important there, Chris, as it relates to growing. And it's growing profitably in a sort of the world and the environment that we live in now more than ever. Every dollar counts. And the thing that we think a lot about is how to grow profitably. We've seen this a lot with real estate teams, Chris. They triple and double, but their expenses rise faster than their top line revenue. So when we think about growth, we always think about growing profitably, getting an ROI. So when you think about building this machine, because I want you to visualize this and I want you to imagine this as we talk through this. You have to, when you're building a machine to grow your business, a growth machine, you have to say to yourself, what are sort of the necessary building blocks, components that need to exist for me to drive high quality leads and create opportunities for my sales team? What are all the elements that need to exist and how do they all need to work together? And when you think about that question, you have to start with sort of those core building blocks. And going from the left to the right here, it starts with, first and foremost, the technology. You have got to have a technology platform that works together. You need first to have a website that sells your service. And what I mean by that, this is so important, Chris, consumers are going to be going to your website and they're probably going to be there searching for homes. But if they can learn about who you are, what you do, what makes you different, why you're special, it's going to help reinforce your brand. And it's going to help people actually make the decision to hire you versus just some other competitor. The second thing you're going to need is you're going to need to have a powerful IDX. Now, we've evolved on this thought over time, Chris, but if you want people to come back to your website, sellers and buyers, you've got to have a powerful IDX, something that competes with, from an experience standpoint, Redfin or Zillow. The third thing you're going to need is you're going to need marketing tools like landing pages and email marketing. These are sort of essential building blocks. You're going to need to have a CRM, but not just any CRM. You have to have a CRM that has built-in automation. If you're going to scale your sales team, you've got to have built-in automation. And what that looks like, Chris, is you're going to have things like behavior-based listing alerts, not just listing alerts that send every single day, but listing alerts that adjust based on the consumer preferences. You're going to have smart plans that can text and email your prospects as they come in. You're going to have an AI assistant. And this is one of the newest trends we've been following very closely. Something to help you qualify leads as they come in. Chris, you wrote the book on this. You know, right, in the conversion code, how many attempts does it take in the first sort of 24 hours, 36 hours to be able to convert a lead? It's more than one.
It takes more attempts than people make, Jimmy.
It's more attempts than people make, absolutely. So you have to have these components of CRM, landing pages, website, IDX, automation, but it all has to work together. You can't piecemeal this stuff. You can't be using lead pages for your landing page and then an off-the-shelf CRM and then your own independent website. It's all got to work together. But technology, as you said earlier, Chris, isn't enough. You got to build on that. So as we move to the middle part of the graph here, what you're going to look at is what we refer to as sort of the plan, which is a digital advertising funnel, an advanced digital advertising funnel. And the way I want you thinking about this is your funnels need to have 3 components: top of funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. So you have to have campaigns, Chris, that raise awareness that you exist in your local area. People will not buy from you if they don't know you exist. So a big part of your budget has to basically raise awareness that you exist. Then the middle of the funnel is where you focus on engagement and qualification. This is where you focus on, qualifying the leads through copy, through price point, through your offers. And then the bottom of the funnel is where you focus on brand recognition and conversion, showcasing what makes you special, and then giving people a clear path to sign up to learn more about working with you. So yeah, you got to have that piece. And again, building on top of the foundation of your technology stack, that funnel approach, that full funnel approach needs to work with your marketing platform. And I think a lot of the frustration, and you brought this point up earlier, and I think it's such a great point to make for everyone who's tuning in today. A lot of the frustration that you experience today, if you've got a website, if you've got an email tool, if you've got a CRM, you probably feel like you're not getting the most out of it. And you probably feel like, I really wish I used my CRM more. I really wish I used my website to its fullest. And I think a lot of the pain and frustration people experience is because their strategy, Chris, isn't aligned with their technology. And that's a problem. And the third component you need to build this growth machine, to generate higher quality leads for your sales team, to be able to grow your business profitably, is you need people. And the thing that I find to be true, we identified a couple key roles that need to exist. You need a strategist, someone who develops the plan. What's the strategy? You need a designer. Design matters, especially in a digital first world. It really represents the best of your brand. We are so bullish on design in terms of making sure people understand you are a premium service. You can't have stock photos and stock graphics. You've got to have beautiful design. You've got to have an analyst, people who are analyzing the campaigns and measuring what's working. But you've got to have a channel expert. And this is a really important position, Chris. Chris, there are 37 steps involved in launching a Facebook ad. You got to know every one of them. If you want to get an ROI from your digital advertising, you have to know what buttons to press. So when I think about what it takes, Chris, to build this growth machine for your business, to propel yourself into the future, to build something where you can grow the business profitably, win more listings, support your buyer's agents, and become that dominant agent in your market, the technology, the people, and the plan. You're going to have all three of those things all working together.
Yeah. And most of the people on the call, they have the technology, they don't have the plan, and they don't have the people, and they shouldn't have the people, to be clear. It is incredibly difficult. Like when you think about being a real estate agent and you get mad when somebody does a FSBO. They think they can sell their home without me. When you get mad about iBuyers, right? Oh, these technology companies are trying to displace me. Well, the truth is we get mad when people think that they can execute advanced digital marketing strategies and ads without the help of an expert. This stuff is complicated. Jimmy, there's a reason 100,000 people bought my book. There's a reason it's been translated into 7 languages. There's a reason I still get a royalty check every 90 days. Because it is complicated. People needed a textbook on how to do great marketing and advertising. But the truth is, what people on this call want, Jimmy, is they want something very, very simple. And that's what Curator Accelerator provides. Higher quality leads that are easier to convert. That's what people want. That's the reason they put up with Zillow. Because they get a lead, the lead becomes a customer. They say, you know what, there's an ROI. I'm getting 7 to 1 on my Zillow. I'm getting 5 to 1. So they keep it even if they don't want to. So what we're going to show you guys today is all the components of Curator Accelerator. But just remember, it's a very simple concept. Do you need higher quality leads than you're getting now? Jimmy, the average conversion rate of an internet lead is less than 1%. Are you tired of digging through the haystack to find the needles? What if the haystack was needles, right? That's the concept. So Curator Accelerator is a higher quality lead that's easier to convert. What can people expect when they sign up? Very simple. We are going to increase the number of seller leads that you're generating. No one in the industry generates more seller leads than we're able to through Accelerator. Highly qualified leads. And we'll show you guys what we mean by that. We're going to break down both components. What does it mean to have a higher quality lead? What does it mean that it's easier to convert? Faster conversion time. These are not leads that are transacting a year from now or 8 months from now or 6 months from now. Some of them are, but a lot of these leads, Jimmy, they're ready to roll. They're ready to buy and sell right now.
Yeah.
And what that leads to is it leads to happier buyers agents, happier ISAs, by the way. ISAs that are working with us love these leads. It also leads to smarter follow-up because the more you know about a lead, the more data you have about a lead, the better your scripts, the better your dialogue, the better your communication. We also increase your website traffic. And the best part about this program, because we're going to confuse you a little bit today. We can't, Jimmy, this is something that's different for us. Normally we teach people how to do stuff. Hey, here's how to do this. Here's how to do that. We cannot teach you how to build this funnel. This is not a funnel that a real estate agent should build or try to build or do. So the best part about Accelerator is we set it up for you. We do all the design, all the management of the ad spend, and all the optimization. So Jimmy, define what we mean by a higher quality lead, because that's where it all starts.
Yeah, we believe in a very simple idea here, which is it does come down to quality. And I think there's ways that we measure this. It's just important that everyone here who's on today's call understands our definition. Because I think when you hear that term, it can be sort of a bit ambiguous, if you will, Chris, where like people just don't know what it actually means. So when we think about higher quality, there's certain components that need to be there. The first is you got to have accurate contact information. So name, phone, email, these have got to be there. If you don't have those, that's just not enough, right? In addition to that, we need to know their time frame. When are they looking to make a move? What's their intent, Chris? Are they looking to buy within 3 months? Are they looking to buy within 6 months or 12 months? Now, as we said earlier, it's okay if they're looking to buy in 6 months or sell in 6 months. We just need to know that up front because that's going to change the way we follow up. The third thing we want to know is, do they have a home to sell? Now, this is critical. Sellers masquerade as buyers online. When you're looking to sell your house, you are not necessarily thinking about who's the best agent to sell my house. You're thinking about that next house you're going to be moving into. You're planning the move. Selling the house is sort of a means to an end. Yes, you want to hire an agent who's going to help you get the most amount of money in the least amount of time, but you want an agent who's going to help facilitate the transition you're having in your life. In fact, I saw a study on this recently, Chris, where about 67% of sellers are looking to move into a new house within 3 months of buying. That tells us that a lot of these buyer leads that we're getting off of the internet are actually seller leads. So we've got to identify them early. So you got to have the name, the phone, the email. You have to have their time frame. When are they looking to make a move? And we also have to know, do they have to sell a home first? Then in addition to that, the leads need to be in your area, the area actually serve, and in the price point you want to work. If you have those components, Chris, that is by our definition a high quality lead.
Well, and also, not to mention, when you look at how the lead behaves on your website, right?
Yeah, great point.
How long are they spending? How many pages are they viewing? So name, phone number, email, time frame for selling, and qualified as a seller lead.
Yeah.
From the areas and price points that you service. And when they end up engaging with your website and your marketing, they're spending 5 minutes, 6 minutes, which in the internet world is an eternity on your website. They're looking at a ton of properties. They're coming back over and over. Because when you have all of that ammunition, it gets really easy to motivate yourself or your agents to follow up. So let's take a look at this, Jimmy, in the real world, because we're going to break down each component today. But this is the funnel, guys. This is the funnel. There's 4 different ads that we run. There's 3 different ways, really there's 5 different ways that we follow up. We bring people back to your site over and over. We show people your ads. We show people your brand. We show people your marketing. We chat with the leads. We qualify the leads through text message, through an AI assistant. There's a lot of components here, Jimmy, but let's start on the left and let's go through the ads that we will set up and run for people who move forward today. In order to capture high quality leads, because one of the things that we've found over the course of time, when we look at Curator Brain, there are only so many sort of ads that work, right? people are very idealistic about running ads and getting results. But we put a lot of ads through the ringer to end up with the ads that we came up with. So let's start, Jimmy, and let's talk about farming, because this is something that it's actually a brand new technology. It has not been available before. It allows us to focus on a very specific area, but this is the equivalent of getting your marketing in front of all the people that you really want to. Talk about the first ad, which is the digital farming ad.
Yeah, well, the concept is actually borrowed from a very traditional advertising strategy, which is direct mail. You know, direct mail has always been an effective strategy amongst top producing agents and teams. And what they've done is they focus on a specific geographic area where they want to build up their name recognition. So if you talk to any top producer, you know, Tim Smith, one of our clients, you know, these guys mail to a specific area over and over again for months, for years, to build up that name recognition. So mail still works. And if you apply that same philosophy and strategy to digital, what you want to do here is the goal is to advertise to people who live in the area in which you service. And the way we do this is through digital farming. And as Chris mentioned, there are restrictions on you know, different platforms like Facebook where you can't target by zip code anymore. You can't drop a pin in the map and draw, you know, a mile radius. You're restricted by these large geographic areas. But when it comes to display advertising, which is one of the core components here, we can do farming ads where we actually can say, we only want to advertise in this zip code. And what you want to do here, Chris, and what we've built is you want to focus on top of the funnel, you know, just, you know, broad brush strokes. Let me catch as many fish as I can kind of strategies. We're going to retarget these individuals later, but we want to focus on what's your home worth, what's the value of your home, and then also searching for homes on our website, which is why the technology component really matters. We need a great IDX to be able to get people going back over and over again. So the first component here, Chris, is saying we are going to create custom advertising campaigns to promote your brand to everybody who lives in the local market in which you serve. And we can do that by targeting the geography.
And these are all handcrafted, built from scratch, your brand, your ads, everything that they click on goes back to your website.
Yeah.
And the beauty of this is it's hyper local. You know, the technology that we're using to do this is not Facebook. This is the web. I want you guys to picture a neighborhood with 2,000 homes in it. And all of a sudden, all of the computers, all of the phones in that geographic radius, they start to see your stuff, just like they would see your lawn sign, just like they would see your postcard. Jimmy, the next one is also hyper local.
Yeah.
But what we're doing is we're taking Facebook, which they changed their rules, you know, the Fair Housing Act and HUD and all these laws, they changed the rules. And they stopped allowing people to target by neighborhood. They stopped allowing people to target by zip code. And when that happened, a lot of people bailed. So, oh, if I can't target a neighborhood, if I can't target a specific area, I'm out. But we have figured out how to get that back. Now, we're not breaking rules here.
We are obeying Facebook's targeting rules, but talk about the Facebook leads that are from specific neighborhoods and price points, because these are a lot of our clients' favorite leads right now.
Yeah, they are. One of the things that we look at here is a couple things. So first, what we're going to do is take what are the 3 to 5 areas that you want to own? Where do you want to get leads from? And then we're going to develop campaigns specifically around that area and that price point. And then what we do to help drive targeted traffic is we use copy, images, and landing pages. All 3 have to be relevant. They have to be connected. So for our Facebook neighborhood ads, during the onboarding process, we're going to collect this information for you. So we can say, okay, you want to get leads in the north end between $600,000 and $800,000. The way we do that is through creative, copy, the design, and then the landing page. So we want all that to be connected. So for us, Chris, we sort of overcome that geographic targeting by using the copy and the creative to be able to drive the targeted traffic. As you mentioned earlier, these are handcrafted. That you can't automate this stuff, Chris. You can't just put it into a machine and press a button. So our team of designers and channel experts are going to be in there creating these campaigns for you. And the key here, and one of the most important parts of this strategy here, Chris, is that when someone clicks through on an ad, gives us their information, we're driving them to a dedicated search experience that's specific for that listing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talked earlier, Chris, about people who come in through Accelerator leads that spend 5, 6, 7 minutes on your website, it's because everything is connected. Everything is working together. So what we do, Chris, 3 to 5 different neighborhoods, focus on the price points that you want to work in, and that's where we develop the campaigns for.
So we're farming those areas.
Yep.
We're putting Facebook lead ads inside of those areas.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next ad unit is really, Jimmy, what you would call dynamic ads.
Yeah.
Homes for sale in the local market. And this is the power of IDX. This is the power of broker reciprocity. But talk a little bit about the dynamic listing ads, because this is actually, I'll be honest, Jimmy, I was surprised at how well this works.
Yeah.
Because Facebook has so much data and they know so much about the user.
Yeah.
And they're collecting all of that behind the scenes, that there's actually a way to say, you know what, based on these users, we think they're going to be interested in listings like this. So talk about the Facebook leads for dynamic listings.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I think is so important is there are only a few things from a marketing perspective that have mass appeal. Beauty products, fitness, right?
Food.
That food, and then real estate, houses, right? And so I think we have such an amazing opportunity to realize that we have something that everybody wants. The second most searched how-to videos on YouTube are how-to related to real estate, which is the second largest search engine in the world. So what this campaign does that we set up and configure for you is we're going to say, what is the area you service and what is the price point you service? And then we will dynamically, as you said, Chris, we will dynamically serve up listings, the newest listings in that price point. And what we're trying to do here from a consumer perspective is we're trying to make your name, because again, it's all about you. This isn't about putting you in a list of 10 other top producing agents. It's your face, your name, your brand in the listings that you sell. And we want to make this association in the consumer's mind that this agent sells these types of homes, that services these types of buyers. So the dynamic listing ad will automatically update with the newest listings in your desired target market and your desired price point. In addition to the neighborhoods ads, in addition to the farming ads, Chris.
And then the other one, Jimmy, and this one's enormous. This is where, and I love that we're showing the process here, because there's something I learned a decade ago from a company called AWeber. I bet most of the people on this call have no clue who that is, but AWeber was an email marketing company, and they had the best send rates of any company out there. Meaning, if you send an email to 30,000 people at 1 p.m., all 30,000 people would get it right at 1 p.m. It would send everything. Now, the way they were able to do that was a technique that they called double opt-in. So what they would do is they would not let you add an email address to your list unless the person opted in, then got an email that said, confirm that you want to opt in. That's called a double opt-in. What's happening with what we're doing is this is actually a triple opt-in. Now, what happens when you make people do a triple opt-in is that, yes, you end up with less people than you could have had had you just said, click, save, right? Or click save. But you end up with highly engaged, serious people. So this is actually an ad that we're going to run for you guys for your listings. We're going to take all of your listings between 3 and 10 at a time, and we're going to put those listings into an ad where it's going to qualify the lead, capture their name, capture their phone number, capture their email. Then they're going to have to say when they plan to buy. They have to actually click a drop down and say, I'm buying in the next 0 to 3 months. They have to click another drop down and say, yes, I've got a home to sell first. Then when they hit next, You can see the one in the center there, you guys. Terms and conditions for the Woodbeck team. By clicking submit, you agree to send your info to the Woodbeck team.
Yeah.
This is crystal freaking clear.
Mm-hmm.
That is another thing, Jimmy, that helps with the conversion because there's no trickery here.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the websites, you go to the site, you look at a couple listings, they force you to register. You kind of register just to get past the form so you can keep looking at listings, and you don't want to be contacted. These leads want to be contacted. And then even on step 2, when you hit submit, there's another step that says, okay, great. They've got your info. Now you can view the listings that you wanted to view. This 3-step process happens for every lead that we capture.
Yeah.
So Jimmy, you know, expand on that a little bit. And by the way, we're going to take questions at the end. We're going to do, you know, 15, 20 minutes of Q&A. I see questions coming in. I actually can't see the questions, but we will answer all of the questions at the end. But Jimmy, talk about the listing ads.
Yeah, if you can go back one slide for me here, Chris. One of the things that we think is so important as a listing agent and as a company that helps listing agents win more listings is you have got to promote your listings the right way. And one of the things that we find to be a very effective ad strategy is to use carousel ads to basically say every time you have a new listing, you know, we can do a promotion for that listing, obviously through our team and promote that listing and a strategy we coach there. But you got to have an ongoing ad that's promoting that listing. Now you can use that in the context of when you go into a listing presentation, you can show not only what you're doing to build your brand, which helps you attract more leads that you can then sell their house to, but you can also show the seller what you're actually doing for their listing. Mm-hmm. And what we do here, Chris, is, as you mentioned, every week we update this ad with not only the newest listings that you took on, but we also remove the ones that you sold as well. And again, you can't automate this stuff. You got to do it manually, but it's such a powerful ad unit for us. And as you mentioned, and I think it's so important, we introduce friction into the process on purpose. Mm-hmm. Our clients need leads. They need to have a certain amount of volume. You need to have a couple hundred leads coming in per month. But you can't have thousands of leads that just give you very little information. It creates a bottleneck for your sales team. So we introduce friction in the process on purpose. We want high quality, not just volume. You got to have both, but you got to have quality. So that's how the active listings work. So every lead, Chris, every accelerator lead that we generate is a full contact information, time frame, do they need to sell, in your area, in your price point, and finally, people who have shown intent. They're on your website for 4, 5, 6 minutes, looking at properties, checking out your about page. That is what an accelerator lead can deliver to your business, and that's why we're so passionate about it.
Yeah, and then it goes into, okay, now we've got the leads coming in. What do we do to follow up? And historically, if you think about follow-up, there was what I call land, sea, and air. Call, text, email. You can call leads, you can text leads, you can email leads. But in the last 5 years, the ability to follow up in a smarter way is unbelievable. Like I wore my AI shirt today, Jimmy.
There you go.
5 years ago, if you would have tried to use an AI chatbot to have a conversation with a lead on your behalf via text message, you would have ruined your brand. It would have been a terrible idea. But now in 2020, chatbots work incredibly well to qualify and communicate with leads when they first come in and long term. In the past, if you had a lead come in and you put them on an action plan, right? It would send a message on day 1 and day 2 and day 3 and day 8, right? Well, now you can do what are called behavior-based action plans.
Yeah.
If a lead goes to your website and they save a property, that can trigger a message to go. If a lead is off your website for a week and they come back to your website, that return visit can trigger a message to go. If a lead looks at the same listing 3 or more times, that can trigger an email or a message to go. So you've got AI, you've got smarter plans, let's call them. And then you mentioned this earlier, your listing alerts should be dynamic.
Yeah.
If somebody's ignoring your listing alerts that go out every morning, we will switch them to a weekly alert without you having to touch it. If they ignore the weekly alerts, we will switch them to a monthly alert without you having to touch it. And then if they start to re-engage, we'll put them back on an instant alert. This is all happening through automation.
Yeah.
And let's say you get a lead and they register for $1 million property. But then when they go to your home search, all the properties they're looking at are 600,000. Well, then you probably shouldn't send them alerts for $1 million. So we will also automatically change the parameters of the alert based on how their search on your website changes. The state of the union on follow-up, Jimmy, is that it's leapfrog better, but most people aren't taking advantage of it. So let's get into the easier to convert, because this is now like land, sea, air, like plus, right? So let's get into the follow-up component here. This is one of my favorite things that you can do now, which is dynamic listings. This is the Amazon effect. Talk about this as a follow-up technique.
Yeah, so let's just provide a little bit of context. The first part of today's presentation, we showed you how we capture leads. But once we capture them, we have to have a post-capture strategy. So every ad and every campaign that you see is after we've actually captured the individual's information or if we've just cookied them. So dynamic listing alerts or dynamic listing retargeting ads works like this. Wherever the person comes in, whether they come in through a neighborhood ad, a branding ad, they come in through an active listing ad, once they come to your website, we're able to begin to track their behavior. And then we can start to serve them listings similar to the one that they were looking at when they were on your website. And what this does, Chris, is it creates a tremendous amount of personalization and relevancy. So it delivers an ad that is truly unique to that individual. So when we talk about retargeting, this is the right way to retarget using listings. It doesn't have to be just your listings because of broker reciprocity. It can be any listing in your MLS. What we're doing is saying, based on their search history and their behavior, we're going to retarget them with listings similar to the one they looked at. And as they click through on it, Chris, if you go to the next slide for me here, what will happen is they'll return to the website, they'll be able to look at the listing, and then you'll be able to see that activity in the back end of your Curator Chime CRM. So you'll be able to see someone's come back to the website after I captured them 30 days ago, they're back now looking at a listing, which the reason we say this helps you make it easier to convert because now you have more information and you have a reason to call. So that's the first component, Chris, of our follow-up strategy.
Yeah, and then the next component is, and this is something that just blows people away, we are going to do branded retargeting across the web for every visitor and every lead that you capture. There's a stat about advertising where a consumer, to become familiar with a brand, the more familiar they are with your brand, the more likely they're going to want to work with you. But they have to see ads 7 times, 8 times, 9 times to remember a brand. So these are examples of the handcrafted retargeting campaigns that we will set up for you guys. This is Connie and Dan out of Atlanta. And I love the slogan there. It's expensive to hire an amateur.
Yeah.
What we actually do is we will take an inventory of all of your best content, all of your best articles, all of your best videos, all of your best slogans, all of your best reviews and testimonials. And we will create these handcrafted retargeting ads so that we keep your brand in front of the leads as they continue to search. Now, the beauty of this is they actually are getting a lot of clicks. When they get a click, most of the people clicking are already in your database as a lead with all their information. So this really takes retargeting to the next level. Anything to add there, Jimmy?
Well, I think it just comes down to the one very simple concept is if you're trying to improve your lead conversion rate, you have to first know as much about the consumer as you possibly can, which we obviously covered already. But then they have to know who you are. And if you can sort of try to sort of visualize this for a moment, think about the difference between a conversation you have with your past clients who know who you are, who know, like, and trust you, and a typical internet lead. If they don't know who you are, they're going to have a brick wall up. You're going to have to overcome that. You're going to have to make a lot more dials. So the reason that we invest in retargeting for our clients, Chris, and the reason we go through the process of creating dozens of different variations of messaging and positioning for our clients is because we want people to know who you are when you pick up the phone and call them, when you text them, when you reach out. We want them to say, "Oh, I see you guys everywhere." Mm-hmm. That's the sort of North Star for us when it comes to retargeting ads.
Yeah, perfect. And then talk a little bit about the trifecta, because what's been amazing is, there's this craze in the industry around ISAs. There's all these advanced things you can do with lead routing.
Yeah.
You can have an ISA on your team to call the leads. You can route the leads to your buyer's agent. You can give the lead to everybody at once so that they pounce on it and respond faster. But talk about the trifecta that makes it easier to convert with Accelerator leads.
Yeah, so every single lead that comes in, we're going to retarget with dynamic listings. Every single lead that comes in, we're going to retarget with your brand. Mm-hmm. Every single lead that comes in that we generate through Accelerator, we are going to use an AI assistant, which will help text and qualify that lead for you. We will use a smart plan, which will help nurture that lead over time. So if you can't convert them on day 1 or day 7, that's okay. We have a smart plan designed to actually engage them for over 24 months in an effort to get them back to the website, searching again to give you another opportunity. Mm-hmm. And the third thing we're going to do there, Chris, is we're going to set up on the behavior-based listing alerts. So every lead that comes in is put on a listing alert that's relevant to their search criteria and their intent. Mm-hmm. All 3 of these things are happening automatically for every single lead. And so when you marry that with our branded retargeting strategy and our dynamic retargeting with listings, you now have a comprehensive digital advertising strategy to follow up with every lead. And in the absence of that, what happens is you're left having to dial for dollars. So one of the things that we heard from our customers, and the reason that we built this the way we built it, Chris, is because every single client told us we need help not only just capturing better leads, but we need help converting them as well.
Exactly. So Jimmy, do we have Jessica on? Do we have the ability to bring Jessica on?
Yeah, we do. Let me go ahead and make Jessica the co-host here. Hey, Jess, can you hear us? There we go.
And here we are. Look at that motley crew.
Yeah, you've got a great team. You've got a great culture. Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the crowd, I'm going to stop the screen share so we can just chat with you for a minute here. But you, Jessica, are, and hopefully this will go down in history one day, like in Wikipedia.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
You are the first ever Accelerator client. Mm-hmm. And we have been working with you for basically, 6 months or so on this.
Yeah, it's been a
You've seen everything that we've done and all the stuff that we've tried. And one of the things that I'm really proud of is a couple of days ago, you reached out to Jimmy and you said, "Hey, Jimmy, we need to double our ad spend."
I did.
And smart people like you don't do that unless things are going well. So I want to ask you a couple quick questions here. And after that, guys, we're going to get into the pricing, the next steps, how you can secure your zip code to get Accelerator leads from your area. But Jessica, the first thing I wanted to talk a little bit about, because you're a pioneer, you're an innovator, you love marketing, you're out there as an influencer, you speak at conferences, you're an innovative agent. But I want you to talk a little bit about the difference in the lead quality from Facebook.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Post Accelerator.
And that is the biggest, outside of the numbers, which we'll talk about, which are bananas. The quality of lead, the now business, which was the whole purpose of creating this program, for at least in my eyes, was we need to step on the gas pedal now, is incredible. So it doesn't, obviously getting that business right now and having it, and your agents getting paid, you getting paid, is of the utmost importance. And the piece that I didn't realize that would come with that is the borrowed belief that it would then give our sales force to go deep into our database, to have that micro win, to go after your nurtures a little bit harder, a little bit longer. And now we're converting a lot more business. A ton more business.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, Jimmy, that I think has been true. People think, oh, you can use Facebook for top of the funnel. You can use Facebook to grow your database. No, The people that are on Zillow are on Facebook more.
100%.
The people that are serious about buying a home soon or selling their home soon, they're on social media every single day. So that was a big thing for us, was like I call it now and later. Who's going to work with us now? Who's going to work with us later?
Yeah.
So a significant percentage of the leads are transacting now. And you're right. That makes the team want to dig a little deeper, right? That makes the team go, you know what? Let me build my pipeline because people like these leads are doing something today. So talk about how your team has responded to the lead quality, because your job, Justin's job, your husband, is to motivate a team to follow up with leads. How's that going?
Yeah, so we did something similar to what Curator did. We beta it in our group, and we had a very small portion of our top producers and people that were very savvy within the CRM already. And because their wins started showing up within our communication tool, we use Workplace, whatever it is, Slack. All of a sudden the rest of our sales force was saying, hey, wait, what are those Chime leads? What are those Accelerator leads? How do we get those? What's going on there? So it just really, I mean, I can't preach enough about the borrowed belief. It's so huge, especially in lead generation, that it's just completely transformed our sales force and how we lead generate and how often we lead generate.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because one of the things that I used to say is, like, if a grenade gets tossed into the room every morning and it never explodes, eventually people stop hopping on top of it.
Exactly.
But when enough of those things go off, everybody freaks out when one hits the room. So Jessica, the $1 million question is, what's the ROI? Like, our goal for this is ROI.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
This is a big one. So first, for the record, I'm not like a number crunching wizard. I have very special people within my organization that do that. And so I was just double checking on it before this webinar. And when it came through and I went through the math of it, I was absolutely blown away. So the ROI currently is a 4X. So we're nearly 400% on our spend.
4X ROI. I would go to that bank every day.
Yes.
And that's why you doubled your budget.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
And you're feeding leads to a pretty sizable team, you know? And I saw a couple stats about the volume, because you guys are selling $200,000 to $300,000 homes.
Yep.
And you're putting multiple millions of dollars into escrow from Accelerator leads. The last time I checked, or the last time we chatted, you were tracking to put 10 to 12 million in the first 12 months, which there's like a huge percentage of this industry that doesn't do 10 to 12 million, period. So the idea that you've got a new lead source that can produce those results is great. Last question, Jessica.
There's 700 people that are going to watch this. There's a couple hundred people on right now. What would your advice be to them if they're considering Accelerator?
Do it. I mean, I think it's the Nike slogan is so simple. It truly is. I've talked to so many people about breaking down what your average commission is and how many homes you're selling today. And the cost of the program is such a fraction of what you will get on just selling one extra home. And I'm here to tell you, I mean, our percentages are up across the board, and it is 100% due to Accelerator, because we took those pieces out against, you know, I mean, we're in a weird marketplace, right? Everything's a little bit different. Everything's a little bit increased in most markets. So we took out Accelerator and metriced that only. And on those leads, we're up 155% on appointments set. And then on appointments held, 170%. And 50% in signed volume. That's incredible. And that's strictly Accelerator program. So that's
and we're just getting going.
I know.
And that's the thing, is it's going to get better and smarter as we do it more. But thank you, Jessica, for coming on. Thank you for being a client. We're going to keep working hard for you. And the truth is, it's not just Jessica that's getting results. I wanted to share a couple other of our clients that have been killing it. Sam Park. Look how busy he is, Jimmy. I have personally 8 in escrow, 3 listings, 2 coming soon listings, and my buyer agent has 3 leads we're getting offers in on. I'm also speaking with 6 more active leads from the Accelerator program. Dan Chen, 7 appointments this week alone from Accelerator. And then Connie, and these are savvy agents, Jimmy. These are the agents that are on stage. These are the agents that are the top agents in their market. Accelerator is a game changer. We have one system finally that allows us to capture, nurture, and convert using multiple platforms, social media, retargeting, email, text message, AI assistance. Congratulations, you took the time to build this right and didn't build it in a tunnel. Thought the process, you have been working with top producers to fine tune the product and to make it fantastic. Nice work. So what's included with Accelerator
is all of the technology that you need, all of the strategies that you need, plus the team you need to get it right. That's what's included with Accelerator. As far as the cost, normally you would pay, the monthly cost is $22.74 per month. We do limit this product to 2 agents per market. We only send 2 agents per market leads from Accelerator. It's $22.74 per month. The minimum ad spend is $1,000. You can spend more. I think Jessica at this point is spending $3,000 or $4,000 because she's got a large team. The bigger the team, the more you spend. Our fees don't go higher if you decide to spend more in ad budget. But what you can do is you can secure your zip code right now for $9.99. You can secure your zip code right now for $9.99. That will secure the area. And then once everything's up and running, once we turn on the ads, your platform and monthly management fee would kick in at that point. If you want Accelerator leads from your market, all you have to do right now is what they're going to do, guys, is they're going to check your area for availability. So they're going to make sure that we actually have a spot in your zip code.
Yeah.
And then after that, they will send you an agreement to sign so that you can secure your area. Now, this is a little bit more about the ad budget, but it kind of shows you the breakdown of how we're spending across the different ads. There's the display ads, the dynamic ads, the neighborhood ads, listing ads, the assistant.
Yeah.
So these are kind of the recommended budget. If you're a single agent, $1,000 to $1,200 is going to work for you. Small team, maybe closer to $1,700, but 150 to 200 leads, 350 to 400 leads, 600 plus leads. We can really crank up the volume if you need us to. Our team will make sure that your area is available, and then we will send you an agreement. Now, there's a 6-month agreement. Once you sign that, our onboarding team is going to get in touch with you. We are experts at setting this stuff up, but it is highly complex, Jimmy. You've mentioned everything that goes into it. So it does take us between 4 to 6 weeks between the time that you sign up and the time that your Accelerator leads start coming in. This is a very manual human process. All you're going to pay today is the $9.99. And then once you're launched, at that point, we will actually start charging you the monthly payment. And then of course, we'll optimize it and manage it for you. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out is we only have 2 spots per market, but we also only have 18 spots total. If you're not in the first 18, because we're only launching about 18 people per month. If you're not in the first 18, you can still secure your spot for $9.99. So you can still hold the spot. And then, like I said before, you won't actually get charged until everything's launched, until everything is live inside of the system. And Jimmy, let's do some Q&A.
Yeah. Well,
I know there were a bunch of questions. Did you get a chance to look at those yet?
I did. I haven't pulled up here, but I do want to remind everybody who's tuning in. We had about 200 people live on the air with us. We had, as Chris mentioned, 800 people registered. We will be getting this recording out to the other 600 people who didn't attend. So as Chris mentioned with the 18 spots, the reason that we limit this is because our team is doing all this manual work for you. And as I said earlier, you need the people, the plan, the platform. We're not just plugging you into a system. We're a premium service that delivers premium results. So for us, we are very thoughtful and very deliberate about how many clients we choose to work with. Chris, do me one favor though, go back a few slides for me before we get into Q&A.
Yeah.
I did want to, there's a slide that with Jessica Woodback on it. There we go. So when I think about who Accelerator is for, I did want to mention this part because we kind of covered this quickly. But you know, this is built for real estate teams. If you're a single agent who's doing everything, you know, and doing it yourself, probably not a good fit for you. If we get you 100, 200, 300 leads a month, you're just not going to have enough resources to follow. So this is specifically designed for real estate teams who have a desire to grow. Real estate teams who have listings. You know, we use your listings to promote and advertise and market to help you win more listings. Mm-hmm. As we mentioned earlier, you have to have an advertising budget of about $1,000, but it can be $1,500 plus. But $1,000 is typically the minimum we work with. And the last component there, Chris, is that you got to have a strong sales team. Mm-hmm. If you do not have a strong sales team in place, you got to fix that. And so for us, we got coaching. We've written books about this. We provide free training on this. But we are going to take your entire technology and advertising functions off of your plate. And all we want you to do is follow up with these leads. That's it. Mm-hmm. And so I think if you check these boxes, that's what we're looking to work with. And those are the individuals that we feel confident, Chris, that we're going to be able to get an ROI for that, like what Jessica mentioned on her session there.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is we have a private mastermind on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's dedicated 100% to Accelerator clients that are getting Accelerator leads that want to learn the scripts, the dialogues, the best practices. It really is an amazing community, and that's part of it as well. This is a big day for us. This product is about ROI, 4X, 5X, 6X. That's the goal. We wanted to give people that alternative to Zillow leads. We wanted to give people another option. If you've got an investment, this is something I learned recently, Jim. About 90% of the top agents in the country use multiple platforms. Mm-hmm. They don't just have one system. Yeah. Because if you've got a system, let's say you're a Curator client and you're doing Accelerator and it's working, and now you're growing your business and you're getting an ROI, you should want to take that and do what Jessica did. Hey, double my budget. Or you should want to take that and go find another system. So that's important. Let's do the Q&A, Jimmy.
Yeah, so we get a question from Craig Peterson. I'll take the lead on this one, Chris. Does the system include a website so I can migrate and save on what I currently pay? Great question. So Chris, do me a favor, go back to the what it takes slide for me if you could.
Yes.
Curator, or it's what's included. Curator is going to include the website, your email marketing, your landing pages, your CRM, listing alerts. It's going to include your IDX. So if you're paying for other websites, other IDX, other listing alert tools, other market report tools, if you're paying for another CRM, you can cancel all of that and consolidate that into the monthly subscription that we charge. And the reason that we want you to use our system and the technology we built, because it all works together. Yeah. Our main goal here, Chris, is to streamline and simplify and get an ROI. So a great question there, Craig. You can cancel all your other services. We will migrate you over to the Curator marketing platform, and then you'll be able to save money on that side of things, which you can put more money towards ad spend.
And that was part of the reason we did this. Our clients were like, listen, we're having to go outside of Curator to invest in additional stuff. We would rather work with one company that we love, that we trust, that we already have a great relationship with. So yeah, you can go all in. Jimmy, Tessa has a question here. For the monthly platform and management of $22.74, does that include the $1,000 ad spend?
Yeah, it does not, Tessa. So what we would do is, and Chris, jump to the ad spend slide for me.
Yep.
I want to go a little bit deeper on this for everybody. So our recommendation here is we say, depending on, who you are, if you're an individual agent who's looking to build a team, if you're an existing small team, or if you're a large team, our recommendation is going to be about $1,000 to $1,200 for a single agent who's looking to grow to a team. A small team about $1,700 a month, and a large team about $2,250 plus. What we estimate for lead volume, again, every lead a curator for Accelerator is going through the same sort of test here. Is we're averaging about 150 leads per month for $1,200 in ad spend, about $350 for $1,700, and about $600 plus for about $2,250 per month. So depending on how many leads that you and your team needs, Tessa, I would recommend, the appropriate ad budget. But the ad spend, you do have control over that. You can flex that up and flex that down. In some instances, as you heard Jess say earlier, she's increased her ad spend because she wants to have a monster Q4. She wants Q4 to, make up for any loss that she experienced during COVID. So she's increasing it. But let's say around like the last month of the year, you may pull that back just a little bit. Now, I would recommend actually that's when you double down, but you may have the desire to pull back depending on your team. So the budget, your ad spend is not included in the 2274. It's an addition to that, but we can adjust that based on your needs.
Yeah. So Jimmy, a couple other questions here. And Craig was asking, like, what is the average conversion rate? Our goal with this program, Craig, is very simple: ROI. So what we're looking at is what we did with Jessica, 4x ROI. I would say that the conversion rate of Accelerator leads is higher than anything that we've ever tested and anything that we've ever put out there. We also launched this program in the middle of a global pandemic. And so that created a couple challenges for us, but the conversion rate is going to be higher than anything that you've done. That's our goal. That's the bar. Yeah. We want you to know I'm giving Curator $3,200 per month. That's about $36,000 per year. I was able to generate $120,000 in GCI. My ROI was 4 to 1. So Drew had a question, which I'll just take here, Jimmy. The all-in, right? So the platform, the ad funnels, and the ad spend, it's right around $3,200, Drew. $3,200 per month. It includes the Curator platform, the Accelerator funnel, and the ad spend for the leads. And then you can flex up on that based on the size of your team. Jimmy, would this work for a brokerage? That's a question from Chris here.
Yeah, it's a great question. It depends on how your brokerage is set up. I think some brokerages are set up to model more like a team model, Chris, where the broker is an active participant. They're actually still listing agent, or they're still listing agent. Some brokers have like teams within their brokerage. So that can be a really effective strategy if you have a team within your brokerage. If you're a broker, I'll tell you where it won't work, Chris. If you're a broker who does not have control over your agent's activities, meaning they're all truly independent contractors. Jess and Justin are brokers, but they operate like a team. They still have like agents who joined who don't want to be part of the Woodbeck team. But if you're a broker, you have 50 agents and you have no control over what they do, meaning you can't tell them to prospect daily, you don't provide coaching for that, like, don't bother. Like this, because we're going to give them leads and they're just going to be too disorganized to follow up. But if your brokerage is set up where you have a strong sales team, like that's a good fit for us. Justin are brokers, Chris. You got to be set up and structured where the brokerage kind of acts and operates more like a team and than a bunch of freelancers.
Yeah, the brokerages that we work with, they typically tend to be smaller brokerages, boutique brokerages, right? That is a little bit more of what we do. We don't necessarily work with these huge brokerages that have a couple hundred, clients per month. Yeah. And Jimmy, the other thing that I wanted to mention here is the 18 spots that we have open for this to start right away.
Yeah.
We are going to honor those spots based on the contract being signed.
Correct.
So just because you put your zip code in front of somebody else, you're going to get a DocuSign. It makes everything official, and we will honor the 18 spots based on the signature on the contract. If you're 19, if you're 20, we'll still hold your spot. We'll charge you the $9.99 to hold your spot. and then we'll come back to that at the end. This is funny. Craig said, I'm going to stop asking questions before your system targets me as highly likely to buy. Let's see. This is a great question. This one gets asked quite a bit, Jimmy. Do you allow lenders to co-market and offset the cost?
Yes, we do. Obviously, you have to be RESPA compliant. They can split, up to 50%, I believe it is. I'll double check that for you. But we do offer co-marketing. They will sign a separate agreement with us. And in terms of targeting multiple zip codes, well, here's the thing: is that yes, we can target more than one area, more than one geographic, especially if your zip codes are just tiny. Like here in the north end of Boston, where I live and where the office is, there's 8,000 people that live in the north. That may not, and for your price point, that might not be a big enough area. So we could target a larger geographic area if that's unique to your area. And that's the reason we have a team of people who would work with you. And this is the point. It's not just putting you in a position where we're not just giving you the formula and this is the playbook. We're going to adjust based on your market year that you're in. So yes, we do allow co-marketing, and we can target more than one zip code. What I will say is we want to focus on the areas you want to work in. And I think it's better, Chris, especially if you have a budget of like $1,500 a month, as opposed to targeting 300,000 people, go after the 30,000 households that really make a difference, the ones that really matter.
Yeah. So, and then we're going to take a couple more questions. And then at the end of this, our team will be in touch. So if you're interested, this will be one of your last chances. Get your zip code in the chat. But a couple of extra questions here, Jimmy. What if our team is already using Chime?
Yeah.
But we're not a Curator client yet. What would you say to somebody in that situation?
Yeah, well, a couple thoughts. So we partner with Chime to provide us with the CRM, which is a modern CRM, and the powerful IDX, right? So we've integrated with them, as Chris mentioned at the beginning of today's presentation. So it's actually a fairly simple transition. You can keep Chime, you can keep your CRM, you can keep whatever configuration you have in place, and we will just integrate Curator into that setup. We actually have a few clients who already do this, Chris, who are already Chime users who came and joined Curator. So we will essentially give you a website, email marketing tools, analytics tools, in addition to your Chime account. And then in addition to that, you obviously have our services as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that is something where my quick take on that would be the change management is a lot less.
Yeah,
like
typically.
If you're already familiar with the CRM and some of those components, it's a lot less. And so if you already have Chime and you come over to Curator, basically Curator, all the costs that we've mentioned so far, $22.74, that includes Chime, that includes a login to Chime, and then each additional login to Chime is $12 per month per customer. We have an exclusive pricing agreement with them.
Yeah.
So if you have Chime with 10 people, it would be an extra $120 per month to have all of those Chime accounts. Jimmy, do we have any situations? Jonathan Green was asking, and Wendy, how soon will we receive the response? As soon as humanly possible. The reason we're not able to get the contracts out in 1 second is because we are making sure that your area is available.
Yeah.
So it will be today. It will be probably in the next few minutes. But we do want to make sure that we just don't want to send you an agreement if there's not an opening. Jimmy, what if there's a team in multiple states?
I think we had to make the one of the phrases that I love recently is make the complex simple.
Yeah.
So you may service 3 states. You may service 15 different areas. And one of our clients, AJ Hazy, who was on the water cooler not too long ago, who did about $5 million in GCI last year. That's $5 million, not in volume, but in GCI. He did something really interesting because he's an Accelerator client. He's just doing exceptionally well with it. He sent me a list of the areas he services, and he ranked them, Chris. He said, based on what I know as a local expert, these are the top 5 areas that I want to work within that I think I have the most amount of market share to pick up.
Mhm.
So what you would want to do is you would want to be methodical about how you select those areas. As you mentioned, we're only going to work with a handful of people in every single market. And then once we sell out, we sell out. We're not going to, we are by a mile, Chris, the most exclusive provider and service provider in real estate. No one's even close to us, right? And so for AJ, he knew that the areas where he can make the most amount of gains, if he picked up 5%, 10% market share, that would be $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in GCI. So from a targeting perspective, yes, we can focus on multiple states, but I wouldn't think about it that way. Where are the big wins? Where are the big opportunities? And we want to allocate resources towards that.
Mhm. Yeah. And you can add additional areas, but like we have an awesome team that just started in San Antonio 2 days ago, and they want to do this in Austin and they want to do this in Houston. But we're starting small before we go big. So yeah, it's good advice. Guys, thank you so much. This is a launch special. Normally to get started, it would actually be $32.74. We're securing your zip code for $9.99. So Justin, Brad, Carl, Nicole, Chris, Brian, Craig, Scott, Steven, Drew, Jacob, Greg. I mean, these are all the people that are asking these questions. Tamara. I mean, Jimmy, there's a lot of people joining today.
But we're going to get this cranking as quickly as we can for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. By the way, my email address is chris@curator.com if anybody has questions. But Jimmy, good stuff. We've been working hard on this. It's a big day for our company. We're going to deliver results. We've never had a faster selling service in the history of our company. We only did it internally until today. And we're pumped to be welcoming so many of you guys to the Curator community. Thank you for your time. Thanks for tuning in. Our team will be in touch. Thank you guys so much.